it's Fellonius. I like bread. I really like bread. It's not like I am a very good expert on bread. I'm not even an expert on sandwiches or stuff, but I like bread. Bread is good in many ways because when you're living alone and you don't know what you should have for lunch or even supper, you just open the fridge and you see, oh, I got some mackerel over there. Oh, that cheese looks good. And you just whip up a sandwich and you just stuff it in your mouth. I've been living on sandwiches and bread for most of my life, and even though white bread and me have been, well, we have been parted ways because my stomach doesn't like white bread as much as it did. I probably need the grains and the fibers and stuff. But still, I'm really good at picking good bread, making, well, acceptable sandwiches and eating them. Now, baking bread is not my forte. Baking buns, cinnamon rolls and stuff, that's me. I'm totally into baking buns. Not much cookies, but some soft cookies I might do. But I've always wanted to do baking real bread for sandwiches. And yeah, there is one thing, as my late mother-in-law used to say, making bread, that's a man's job. So that's probably one of the reasons why I haven't done it. You need the muscles for it, right? Suddenly there was this thing, you know it, I think it was mid-90s or something, there was this machine. You just popped things into the machine, pushed a button, and 3 hours later, voila, you had yourself your own homemade bread. I guess that machine sold very well back then, but there are always a back to everything, right? Now, I wasn't there. I didn't have one. I didn't get one in Christmas present or something like that. But suddenly this summer, a friend of mine suddenly had one. A big one. A very big one. And he made fresh bread. And he said something to me that made me really think. He knew what he was eating. When he took himself a sandwich, he knew exactly what was in his bread. And if I'm looking at the bread I buy and looking at all those color stuff and chemicals and things and whatever it says, I have no idea how much stuff I'm putting inside. Is it really eatable, even? So I usually don't see what's inside. In Sweden, we also have the rule, you have to put everything you have inside your thing, you have to put it on your packet as well. You can't hide anything. You have to tell them how much sugar or syrup or whatever it is you have inside. And that's good. But I'm not always sure what E225 is. I'm not totally sure that anyone knows, but they are allowed to have it. That perhaps coloring the bread or is cheese, or I'm not totally sure. So what did I think? Now, my friend is a good baker at most times at least, so when he gets a machine to do his work, that's a strange one. So I told him, well, I'm alone, I don't need a big one like you have, but if you ever find anyone, just give me a holler, I want to test this as well. Less than a fortnight later, they came with a little one. It's an old one, it's probably one of the first ones. It's like, I think I get 400 grams of bread. That's just a half or a loaf of what I usually buy. And what you do is that you put the things, the ingredients, in a certain order, and then you push the button. It bakes, it even makes it cooler afterwards. It does everything, and it's a timer on it as well. Now, the newer machines have different types of programs and stuff, but this one I have doesn't have that. It's probably a 90s version. And I must say, I was so fascinating about having my own freshly made bread. Now, of course, there are things about this fresh bread. There are especially two things. First of all, it is fresh, but you don't have any way of conserving it. That is, it's going to get stale and old quick. Quicker than the ones with E225 in it. Second of all, it's so darn good. When I make a loaf of bread in this machine, I eat it the same day. I eat 400 grams of bread the same day. I can't stop. I just go and eat. I don't get any other lunch or anything else. I need to eat it because it's so darn good. And I've tried different types of flour and stuff, and using syrup and sugar or whatever. And you can experiment how much you want. As it's dry yeast, so it's nothing important with that one. You're using water. You can have milk powder. I'm having all 4 types of grains inside. I'm having yes, you can hear it for yourself, right? And it doesn't really matter. The ground recipe, the basic recipe, is more like white toast, but it's good as well. I can eat that, and suddenly my stomach says nothing about white bread, just eat. And my stomach is the one that is actually deciding what type of bread I have to do, but now he says nothing. Perhaps I have taken away the problem. Perhaps I don't like E225s and all that, the other E stuff. However, baking every day, that is the reason. That is the backside of this. Since I'm eating bread the same day, I need to bake every day. That's not an option. I have to work as well. Of course, yeah, I can put it on timer and all that, but I have to wash it up as well. Even if it's only 3 parts, I need to wash it and make sure that it's clean before I do the next one. Yeah. So what I need to learn is to moderate. If I'm going to do my own bread, I will eat as many slices as I usually do. And as soon as I'm able to do that, I will start baking with my bread maker again. I love my bread maker, but I'm eating too much. Thanks for listening. Bye.